How often should men over 50 really train? Most get this wrong. If you're over 50 and your training feels like it's not going anywhere, I want you to consider something. The problem probably isn't that you're not training hard enough. It might be that you're training too often and recovering too little. Most men over 50 have this exactly backwards. They think more days in the gym equals more muscle. And for an older body, that can be the very thing holding you back. In your 20s, you could get away with training every day. Your body bounced back overnight. After 50, the rules change, and the man who ignores that stays sore, tired, and stuck. Today I'm going to tell you how many days you actually need and why the magic happens on the days you don't train. Let me tell you how I learned this. At 50, I was 218 pounds. I was soft and getting weaker every year. When I first got serious, I thought the answer was to hammer it 6 days a week with no rest. I got more tired, more beat up, and I built almost nothing. At 58, I trained less than I did back then, and I'm stronger and leaner than I've ever been. The difference wasn't more effort. It was understanding how an older body actually builds muscle. Once I got that, everything changed, and it took the pressure off instead of adding to it. You're about to get that same shift. Here's the science nobody explains. You do not build muscle while you are training. You break it down. The workout is just the signal, the trigger that tells your body to grow. The actual building happens afterward, while you rest, sleep, and recover. And after 50, that recovery process takes longer than it used to. Your body needs more time between hard sessions to repair and come back stronger. So when you train the same muscles day after day, you're interrupting the repair before it ever finishes. You're breaking down faster than you're building up. That's why you can train constantly and still lose ground. Picture it like a cut on your hand. If you keep picking at it every day, it never heals. Your muscles work the same way. It needs uninterrupted time to close the gap and come back stronger. Keep tearing it open, and you stay stuck in a hole. So how often should you actually train? For most men over 50, the sweet spot is 3, maybe 4 strength sessions a week. That's it. Enough to send the signal often with enough space between to let the muscle rebuild. If you're doing full body workouts, train every other day and rest in between. If you split it up, don't hammer the same muscle 2 days in a row. Give each muscle group a couple of days before you hit it hard again. More sessions than that, and for most older men, you're just digging a hole you can't climb out of. Now, I'm not saying sit on the couch the other days. Walking, stretching, some easy mobility work, all that is great, and it actually helps you recover. The rule is simple. Hard strength work 3 or 4 days, and let the muscle rest on the days in between. Movement every day. Heavy lifting only a few. Now, this does not mean go easy. When you do train, those sessions have to count. Take your hard sets close to the point where the last couple of reps are a real fight. That's the signal that tells an older body it has no choice but to grow. Fewer sessions, but real intensity in each one. That's the formula. Quality over quantity every single time. This is actually great news if you're a busy man. You don't need to live in the gym. You need a few focused, hard, honest sessions and the discipline to leave the rest for recovery. And here's the part that separates the men who build muscle from the men who just stay tired. You have to treat recovery like it's part of the training, because it is. That starts with sleep, at least 7 to 8 hours, because that's when your body does most of its repair. It means a rest day or an easy walk between your hard sessions. It means managing your stress, because high cortisol tears muscle down just as fast as training builds it up. Think of it this way. Your workout writes the check, but your sleep and your recovery are what actually cash it. Skip the recovery and the workout was for nothing. And here's a sign to watch for. If you're dreading your workouts, if you feel like you're weaker week after week, if your joints ache all the time, that's not weakness. That's your body telling you it hasn't recovered. Most men push harder at exactly that moment. The smart move is to back off, rest, and come back stronger. Listen to those signals because after 50, they're usually right. Of course, none of this works if you're not feeding the muscle. Whole food first, always with real protein at every meal, because an older body needs more of it, not less. On the days I fall short, I use my own protein to fill that gap. If you want to try the one that I used, the link is in the description. But food comes first every time. So if your progress has stalled, don't add more days. Try taking one away and pour that energy into recovery instead. 3 or 4 hard, focused sessions, real sleep, and real food. That's how an older body builds muscle. And muscle is what keeps you strong and independent for decades. Remember that men who lose their independence late in life usually lose it because of muscle loss, not disease. You're building the exact thing that prevents that. If this cleared something up for you, share it with a training partner over 50 who's stuck. Then subscribe. And let's build the strongest version of you yet. See you in the next one.